G'day, and welcome back to another episode of the Bradley J Dryburgh Experience. You'll notice that today's episode isn't in numeric value as all of my previous and episodes to come in the future. This is a special feature, a feature to fight for freedom, to create awareness for the people of Myanmar. I'm honoured to be joined by a special guest, Phoe Thaw. He is a one championship mixed martial arts fighter from Yangon in Myanmar. You may also know him from Frank Grillo's Netflix documentary Fight World, where he displays the martial art of Letway. But today, Phoe is fighting for far more than family pride, paycheck, or fame. He's fighting for the freedom of his people. Myanmar is currently under a military coup, as the military has swarmed in and detained the elected democracy. The people are fighting for their freedom. On numerous occasions, they have been subject to dictatorships in the past, the last one spanning for 20 years. So we're doing this to create awareness for their people. They definitely deserve the freedom that we take for granted here in Australia. So please bear with his limited English. It is still pretty good, as he explains what's currently unfolding, the fear of the people, but more importantly, their fighting spirit and what they deserve. So ladies and gentlemen, dive into today's episode and please speak out against what's happening in Myanmar, and let's create awareness from here in the lucky country of Australia. Thank you. I'm going to bring in Phoe now. Phoe, how are you, mate?
Hi, I'm good. So good to see you.
Mate, it's good to see you, and
Yes,
I really thank you for your time.
I'm really happy to share with my current situations in my town and my opinion and my what I'm thinking. So I'm really glad to be here today.
Thank you so much. Look, I want to sort of do a quick, glance of things from our angle and what we're hearing here in Australian media. So you guys are currently under a military coup. So for those of you who don't understand what that is, it's when the military has come in and basically taken over the elected government. That elected government was a democracy. And I believe, if I'm saying this correctly, the leader of that democracy's name was Aung Sun Suu Kyi. Have I said that right?
Yeah, Aung San Suu Kyi.
Suu Kyi, and she was the elected leader of the democracy. She has been detained by the military as they are now basically running the country under a dictatorship, and I believe that's been the case for the last 8 days. Am I correct?
Yes, that was correct.
Okay. How did this all come about?
So that was happening in the first February of 2021. The military coup suddenly in the Myanmar, and every citizenships don't accept the military coup, and they're trying to against the dictatorships. So now people are going out for boycott, and also the protesters are like 100,000 of people, maybe more. So now more people are involved day by day, and also the government staff participate in that uh, against protest dictatorships, and civil disobedient movements are very effective to the government. So every single people in Myanmar don't accept the dictatorship. So they was we trying to follow that dictatorship, and that was really bad situations in the currently in Yangon and others, different country, different towns in Myanmar.
Okay, how has that changed currently? So you're in Yangon, and I know that there is quite a risk for you to be here speaking about this publicly and speaking out against the military and that dictatorship. Have you seen similar people in your circumstance be punished for what you're doing?
Yes, it's been uh, 9 days already, but the protest is start begin. Today is the third day. Since it will start on that February, 4th, 5th, 6th. No, I'm not sure. Sorry. So I think we've been start doing. We initiate the movement of boycott is now for 4 day. So today in Yangon, all the bridge are blocked by police, and also they announced the curfew 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. And also they got an order to shoot to the protesters, and also they settle with the soldiers and the police with the full armor loaded everywhere. And also they announced not collect people not more than five people. But today early in the morning people will start collecting like thousands of people, and it's going to be more, maybe till 100,000 people like yesterday. So people feeling so, recent of that military coup, and they just start uh, taking action to the political activists uh, last a few days ago, and they detain all the leaders of the democratic activists, and also the elected government leaders. So they detain and they just put in the house arrest. So people are just asking for to release all the detainees, and also to uh, approve to accept the approved result of the elections, and also to release to give our democracy back. But the government, the military government, is not negotiate with the people, and they just keep trying to uh, control these situations and tyranny to the citizen everywhere in Myanmar. So that was really, really bad. And everybody going out to the street, going for
Yeah,
the justice. Everybody's out.
so I believe now that it's been a few years since you guys have had democracy within your country. I know that it was up until a few years ago that you guys were operating under a dictatorship. So I imagine that the people of Myanmar have really enjoyed the freedom that comes with democracy, a freedom that in Australia we definitely take for granted. What are the plans? We haven't lived here in Australia, we haven't lived in a time where there has been a dictatorship in place. What does that look like for the people of your country moving forward if the power isn't reinstated to the elected democracy?
Yes, we've been tyranny regimes. We've been stay and growth under tyranny regimes for already half of the century. You know, since 1962. So
Wow.
the dictatorships are, active in Myanmar. So a lot of people sacrifice with the blood and the life, and the family. Everybody lost their life and everything due to revolution. So in 1988, a lot of people died in that revolution, and also the 2007, uh, they treat like enemy to the citizen, and they kill. They have guns, and also they have power, so they don't care anyone desire anybody, uh, and also they don't care about the international pressures, and also they never trying to negotiate with. So That's why people are so feel of frightened and scared about the dictatorships. So now today, so people are start showing their strength that we don't have to get fear anymore, and the dictatorships it seem like kidnapped the whole country because everything they are start doing the cope in first February is not legal. According to the law, it is not legal. It is not acceptable, and also they are doing above every single order, every single thing is above the law. So we need we seriously need help by our neighborhood country and the international pressures, and also we have to be stick together because they are going to the way back to the dictatorships. They never trying to give a democracy to the people because they interrupt the whole country's property for for has been nearly 60 years. So that's why. So when they stop right here, they are going to get arrest, and every every interruptions they did before was taken in actions by the new government probably. So that's why uh, I think they will never ever give up, and so we have to fight for justice till the last time. So now people have nothing. So people are just collecting in the street on the road and just asking for the justice and doing some products, but they are trying to tyranny to the people who coming out to the road like enemy. It is really really bad. So they start argue with the some non-violent protesters yesterday, and some of the citizens get injury. And last night there were two people were killed by some violent people. So that is not a good prospect for the next step, and they have they just planning to beat anyone in any way who against the military. So that is for sure, deadly sure, because I've been faced with that kind of revolution for twice in my life. So actually, that is the third time. So in 1988, I was 4 years old, so I didn't know much about that. But in 2007, I've seen a lot of people were killed, and also so we've been abused by our police and the military, the soldiers. So just right in front of me. So that's why I don't want to happen it again. I don't. We don't want to let it happen again. So that's why we start uh, doing the same protest for non-violent and ask for the democracy, and we should have peacefully. But they just they are so tricky, and they try to cheat everybody. They announce that they are innocent, that they are not doing anything wrong, and they just broadcast from their own channel with the fake news, and also trying to brainwash the people, and they whatever they are doing is the right. So people are knowing that they are not right, and also They just trying to cheat to the international. Myanmar is peaceful. Myanmar is under control. Myanmar, all the Myanmar citizens are accept the military or something like that. That is not the truth. The truth is 90% of Myanmar people don't accept the military coup, and everybody just trying to against the dictatorships, and also some of the the leader get detained, and so a lot of people get pressures. So we just start doing the movement, the civil disobedience movement, but some people who participate in that movement get a pressure by the government. No, I mean the military. So people they trying to scare the people.
Of
So we've been
course.
live in with the frightened for 60 years. So that's why this time they think the they will make it, but we won't let it happen.
Well, I love to see that you're fighting and that the people are fighting for what they have the right to. I know that from reports we're seeing here, there are, as you said, hundreds of thousands, and that's no exaggeration, of citizens that are fighting for their right to democracy. I have heard though that a lot of the social media platforms have been banned, and they are really banning your exposure to Western media and outside media. Is that the case?
Yeah, uh, that was so lucky to have a chance to share with the uh, with my feelings. So they cut the internet and also the phone line. So they just trying to block everybody not to contact each other. They just trying to ban the network, the citizenship,
Okay.
so to connect each other. So that was the second day that we got back the internet, because as long as we can use the internet, all the news, the truth is spread in online.
Okay. Okay. I get where you're
Everybody,
coming from.
yeah, the world knows what is happening in Myanmar, but they just are trying to track the internet, and some people who inspire the people to against the military code, they sue and they trying to arrest them, and that is so terrible. They doing above the law. That is not, not the law. The law is themselves. The law is the weapons they have. So that's why people are so, you know getting in trouble at the moment.
Is there a risk for you at the moment speaking out about this? Is there a risk that you could face being arrested and put in prison?
Yeah, sure. But I don't care, because I don't want to wait, and I don't want to live under fear, under dictatorships. So I fight for freedom. I fight for what I have to fight, and I fight for our rights. So I don't care, because I'm a professional athlete. I have to stand with the people. I have to, inspire all the citizenship as an athlete, because I get some supporting by our citizenship, and I became a professional athlete. So I have to. That is my duty, and everybody duties to against the military coup, and we have to act for our rights. So some of my friends get arrested, and I don't know what is gonna happen tomorrow. But today, as long as we are breathing, we live, and we have to keep moving forward to get a democracy back.
I love that attitude. That's a really good way of looking at it. And you can tell that you are a fighter, not just for a career and for a living, but rather you're a fighter in spirit. And I love to see you fighting out against something that is so wrong. I want to make sure that the people of Australia who listen to this, or even maybe people from, the Western world who get to hear this interview right now, how can we be of support to the cause?
So we have to show everybody need the human rights. Everybody has to stand with Myanmar citizen. Everybody show that they don't accept the dictatorship and they have to against that military coup and stand with us. So that is and give a pressure. Some people who can be give a pressure to the military that they are not doing such a wrong things anymore. So Myanmar, only Myanmar people is blocked. So there's no airport. Uh, uh, of they block the airport. They block the internet. They block. They control everywhere. Their mans is everywhere, and so we've been in the trouble like all the 56 millions of Myanmar citizens are kidnapped by a military, you know. So that
Mm.
is not a military coup. That is a kind of stealing our sovereign and kidnapped the leaders and all the citizenships who ask for the right for their rights in Myanmar. So we don't have any chance to show up what we are feeling, what we ask for. They don't really care about that. They always say we are leading democracy. Are trying to get a democracy, but actually that is totally wrong because they only care about for themselves, their ego, for for their
Their power.
po- power, poverty. Without power, so they're nothing. They know themselves. That's why they never ever, going back. They always use their gun to get what they want. It's been like how nearly half of the century.
And you said before, you said the Indonesian government and one other government you really need the support of to fight against the military. Who are those two governments?
So I don't know much about how the international can control with this situation, but so no, they have guns. We don't have guns. They have power. We don't have power. We just show up. We just do protesting. We just doing some boycott, some civil disobedience movement, some campaign. It doesn't make so much work. So we don't have much time. So as long as it takes time, so they have time to prepare. The military has time to prepare, and also so we have to survive for our uh, uh, earning for our family because we lost the job, we lost everybody, everything's are very difficult in in current situations. So as long as it takes times, all the citizenship will suffer worse. So that's why the international, like the United Nations, some powerful countries, some neighborhood countries should stand with that. They have to be fight with us to the daddy government, daddy military. So they coup Myanmar for not the first time. It's already three times. In 1962, 1988, and now 2021. Also, our leader won the election in 1990, but they don't recognize. They didn't recognize, and they're trying to coup. And our leader was house arrest for 20 years. So that's why this side, if we fail, we will never get back our freedom. So that's why this time is the last time ever for the Myanmar. So we don't have to stop. We don't have to quit. We have to fight till we get back our sovereign. So we don't want like North Korea, you know.
Of course. And that's a really good point to the people of Australia. Hear those words and hear them powerfully that, the last time this happened, it was 20 years of tyranny, 20 years of dictatorship. And we can't let that happen to these people, these amazing people of Myanmar again. So I employ everyone to speak out about this. Let's see what we can do as a nation to push for help, to be the neighbors, to be the support that these guys have in their corner. And Phoe, I just really, really hope that you guys can get out of this situation as soon as possible. It sounds, like it's unimaginable how hard this would be for the people, for you as a man with a family. And we just really hope that you guys get back on your feet and get back to a country of free will and free living.
Yeah, I hope so.
It,
We just we just ask to
that's it.
recognize the elected government. That's it, and release detainees. They don't even care about that. They uh, everybody know what they're thinking is
Of course, it's about power.
dictatorships.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's fight for exactly what these people are all about. Let's fight for their freedom, their democracy, and let's make sure that the people of Myanmar get to live as freely as we do here in Australia. Phoe, is there anything you'd like to add before we finish this interview up?
Uh, it's okay. I really want to share with all my experience and what's really happened in Myanmar. All the thing I just told about, I said was the truth. I grant you what I'm said, and I want the people understand what is really happening in Myanmar. Don't trust military. Just listen to the people voice, and I need everybody stand with us, and I request for that and help Myanmar. It is the last time for us. So we don't want an dictatorships, and we don't want like North Korea. So I want to speak more about, but the English is not my mother language, but as much as I can, I want to share with that, and I'm so happy to share with my feeling everything what I know currently. So thank you for your interview, and
It,
I really appreciate it.
it's my pleasure, and mate, I commend you for standing up for what you believe in. You are a true fighter in life and inside the cage, and I implore everyone to get behind the people of Myanmar and support them in their fight for freedom. Phoe, thank you so much.
Thank you for your question. So thank you so much.
Not a problem at all.
Oh, you can.